All right, everybody, welcome back to the Inhabit Mars channel. And as promised, we have part two of Sol 2641, which, if you watched the last video, you know that Chris posted this on June 30th of 2020. If you haven't watched his video yet, I would encourage you to please watch his video first. I'll try to put a link in the description. I want to introduce to you my daughter. This is Debbie, and she's going to help us look at some of the stuff just to make sure that I'm not quite growing crazy. Now, she'll tell you that I'm already gone crazy, but maybe, just maybe, I'm actually seeing some stuff in here. And what I want to show you before we start is um, this is where the rover is located right now. Now, if you can see this in the image here, I circled it in blue in the blow-up part on the bottom right corner. This was the last place they mapped it at 2639 at the time. Okay, but we're looking at 2641, so it didn't go very far. But as you can see, it is climbing up Mount Sharp right in the middle of Gale Crater, and I want to show you what this is. Another artist rendition. This is his CGI of Gale Crater, and it's actually done pretty well. And I also circled the location in here. I believe this is the same location, but this is approximately where the Curiosity rover is right now as it's climbing up Mount Sharp. And these images that we're looking at today are looking off to what would be the top right of the image, looking over that ancient lake bed. Now, NASA will tell you that this lake bed was millions of years ago, but if you watch my last video, you'll see that these structures, these ships and these other structures are pretty well intact. If they lasted millions of years, I'd sure like to know the material they were made of, and or what the decay rate of wood and metal and different things are on Mars. So we're going to look at some of the images that Chris cleaned up for us. And once again, if you haven't watched his video, please go back and check out this video right here. This is when he posted it on June 30th. And like I say, this is Sol 2641. Deborah, we found some interesting things in these images. Now, Deborah hasn't seen the entire models, and I want her to look at the model and the images specifically and tell me what she thinks she sees in this, because it'll be real interesting to get a second person's perspective on this. So let's take a look at the first image. Now, this is what he captured from, he did a screen cap of this from NASA, from their files. And already in this image, you can see some things standing out that just don't look natural. Deborah, would you agree, looking at this image right here, just looking at the image, unedited, uncleaned up, everything that Chris does to it from Mars Anomalies, would you say you can see some stuff in that image already?
Yeah, this big object back here.
Okay, what she's pointing to is just about in the center of the screen to the top right. And in fact, let me give you an idea. I went ahead and circled these. Okay, the one that you're looking at, and this is just zoomed in a little bit, this is the same unedited image. Are you talking about what I circled in the blue here? Because that's what we were talking about earlier.
That's the one
Okay, I mean, that stands out. Even in the raw image from NASA, this stands out. Now, another thing that I want to point out while we're in here is what I've circled in the purple. In the purple, a lot of people thought this was a statue. I did not go ahead and model this, but let's go back to this original image. and it's to the right, far right of the screen, just above the center going vertically. People thought this might have been a statue. What I believe that this is actually a ship laying on its side, just like we looked at in the last videos, where the sails are still attached to the mast and they're kind of wrapped around from all the wind. I believe that's what it is. I didn't model it because there was just so much to model. So much. I spent so much time in this, and my daughter can attest to this. I spent so much time modeling this. And once again, now when we go into some of these enhanced images, she's seen some of these images, but she hasn't seen everything that I've done in the model. So I'm going to bring up, now this is one of his final enhancements. They're in black and white so that the colors don't mess with your eyes. But we're going to look at this image right here, and this is pretty much what I modeled from. And Deborah, you got your magnifying glass, right? All right, show them your magnifying. There you go. That's better. All right. Now we want to look at a couple of things in here, and so what I want to do is I've taken this very same image and I went ahead and circled some stuff in it. All right, Deborah, I want you to, now, as you notice, I've picked them out. I've circled them in different colors, and I want her to pick out a color that most interests her or an object that might most interest her. And I want her to look at these. Now, keep in mind, she's not really looked at these ahead of time. She's looked at them while I modeled a few things on there to help me figure out what some of these things were, but she's not seen the entire model or the entire images as I've circled them. So, Debbie, she likes to be called Debbie. Y'all remember that. Debbie, why don't you pick out a color that most interests you right now or an object that most interests you, and I want you to tell me what you see. And guys, use your magnifiers. As Chris says from Mars Anomaly, use your magnifiers because you're going to see some stuff in these images. And then I'm going to show you, please stick around for the part where I show you in the 3D model what I saw. And hopefully you're seeing the same thing. If not, I could be wrong. These are my interpretations. So I could be wrong. That's okay. Either way, you have to admit that these structures are not natural. So Debbie, why don't you pick a color, let them know what color you're picking, and we're going to look at that circled area and see what you think you're seeing in that. Because I know what I believe.
I'm going to start with the blue one so I can see objects in that one pretty much clear.
All right, everybody, if you got a magnifying glass or an eyepiece or anything where you can zoom in on this, look at the part that I circled in blue, and Debbie's going to describe what she sees in that, and I'm going to tell you what I see in it if it's any different. So what do you see, Debbie?
I see a car here.
A car?
And then what looks like to be an underground bunker.
Holy cow.
I can see the walls and I can see the two-sided doors.
So there's doors. You see a car out in front of it.
Yeah, it's like parked right out in front of the underground bunker.
Okay. Guys, look at it and tell me what you think. I mean, really, this blew me away. And that's pretty much what I saw, too. All right. Why don't you pick another color and tell me what you think you see in that.
There's the yellow one right here. It looks like a space shuttle on the ground.
Okay, and I honestly, I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't know what to make of that. I just modeled what I saw, and when we get to the model portion, you'll see. But it kind of looks like a space shuttle, and I have to agree with her. That, yeah, go ahead and describe it.
You can see the front right here, and what looks to be like the three little engines, the circle of engines that you see.
Yeah, and I wish y'all could see what she's pointing at, but if you look to the left side of the yellow circle, you'll see that it actually slants out at an angle, and it could be engines back there, it could be anything. It's so hard to tell, and Chris does an excellent job of cleaning this up, and I really have to thank him. If it wasn't for him, uh, none of this would be possible. It wouldn't be possible to model this stuff. All right, so we see that, and I have to agree with you. That either looked like some sort of building or some sort of shuttle type structure, vehicle landed there. All right, and I'm telling you, there is a lot in this picture right here. That's why I broke this into two parts, and I didn't even get to model all of it. I spent this entire week trying to finish up this model. If you watched the last video, you know I modeled some of it then, but it took a long time and a lot of people looking at this. And I had several people look at this, including my daughter, and trying to help me figure out what are we looking at. All right, so we did the blue, we did the yellow. All right, pick another color and tell me what you see.
Let's see. Do the red. I see something in the red.
And she's using her magnifier. You can't quite see it on the camera because she's so close looking at it. But she's using the magnifier, and
Looks like a canopy. You can see 3 holes, and there's something like a sign right there.
and what she's describing, if you look at the left side of where I circled it, you can actually see 3, and they're coming down symmetrically, exactly symmetrical. They're coming down into the ground. And it does, to me, look like a canopy. Wow, we're on the same track here. Either we're both crazy or we're both seeing stuff on Mars. Okay? So it looks like a canopy, and that's actually how I modeled it. When we get into the modeling portion, I'll show you. All right, you got 2 colors left. What do you think that thing is? I spent a lot of time on that one. I had no idea what that was.
It kind of looks like a fire hydrant. Just because it has little circles on the sides and it's got something on the top.
Okay. Can you describe the shape of it? Does it look roundish, squarish?
It looks roundish like the fire hydrants you usually see.
Okay. All right. And I don't know what that thing is. You'll see when we get to the modeling portion what I interpreted it as. And guys, I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, and I'm okay with that. As Chris will always tell you, I'm okay with that. I'm only modeling what I think I see, and it could be something totally different. But what I think that is, because it appears to be right at the corner of where the 2 roads cross, and those appear to be roads, some sort of traffic circle, warning sign. I don't know, but it seems to be a digital or electric sign because it has a box. Can you see that box next to it, Debbie? Am I imagining it? To the left of it, there's
Yeah.
a square box? Because that's what I modeled.
I do see that.
And I believe it to be some sort of electrical sign, but hey, guys, this is Mars. I have no idea, number 1, what it is, number 2, what it's doing there. All right, so you got 1 color left. That's pink. Your favorite, one of your favorite colors. That's right. Do you see anything in the pink area?
Well, there's a bridge and there's something sitting on it like a space shuttle. Or not space shuttle. Spaceship or something.
Okay, can you guys see that? And I hope you got magnifiers, or use the magnifier on your computer, or zoom in on your phone if you're able to. My phone has a zoom on it. I can zoom on any image. Yeah, that to me appeared to be, it's in there's a ravine right there that runs through, and then there's a bridge that goes across it, and there's definitely an object sitting on that bridge. At first I thought maybe it was some sort of gate, but the gate is actually, if you look back at the yellow, you'll see to the right of that little structure, there's a gate there. Ooh, and I apologize for the yawning. I'm real tired. I've been up for days and with very little sleep. But to the right of that yellow structure, whether it's a shuttle or guard shack. I don't know. You'll see actually it's very faint, but you can see the post of the bridge. And when we get in the 3D model, you'll be able to see that better. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at how I saw this. And this right here is the rendered image of what I saw. All right. So we're looking at kind of the same angle here. And you're looking over the hill. And if you remember last week, we went over these structures that were here in the front. And you'll see in the background some of these structures that Debbie was talking about. Now, guys, keep in mind, she really hasn't looked at these photos in depth before this. So this is just her interpretation of what she saw, which is exactly what I'm doing, is showing you the interpretations of what I've been looking over. So now let's take a little closer look. And this is a little closer to the background area. And remember that canopy structure you were talking about, Deborah? And I could go back to the photo here, and it's circled in the red. All right. This is how I saw it. Was if you look just in front of that hill that's in the kind of in the background, beyond the bridge, you'll see one of those canopies. And there's actually not just one, there's two, and the other one is so faint in this photo, I almost didn't see it. If you look in this photo, where the yellow circle is, right behind it, which would be just up on the photo. Do you see that second one back there? Let's go to the one that's not circled now. Right here. And we'll take out the markings. You see it just above where that shuttle or whatever is? There's a second one there. Now, you actually noticed a third one.
Yeah, it was behind this mountain right over here.
Okay.
Right here in the corner.
And she happened to pick out a third one. And unfortunately, I don't have that circled. But I don't know if I could. No, there's no way to really circle it now. But let's take a look back at the render. And this is what I came up with. Once again, she talked about the concrete structure in the background with the doors on it. And the angle is just a little bit different. I tried to get it pretty close to the same. But if you look just in front of that mountain, there's that concrete structure with the doors. And when we get into the Blender live portion, you'll see that. But you can see that what looks like a car sitting there. And I just want to point out that in front of that car, between the car and the road, even in the image here, let me go back to the image, you can see where that car is, or whatever it is. It looks like a car to me. There's a bunch of dirt right there that's fresh dirt. Now, once again, NASA will tell you that the last time any kind of life was on Mars was millions of years ago. But this dirt pile, when you look at it in the color image, do I have that on here? Not really. Well, you kind of see it here. Okay, in this image, look towards the background, just to the right of center, and if you see the car there, that dirt pile is a slightly darker color. Now, if anybody's dug in the dirt here on Earth, you know that when you dig up dirt from underneath the surface, it's darker. It has a darker tint to it. And if you can screen cap this right here and look at that, you'll see that that dirt actually has a darker color, like it's been dug up in the recent past. Once again, I'm not sure that it was millions or billions of years ago, well, they say millions, that Mars was inhabited. I believe it was a lot more recent. And if you follow John Brandenburg's information that he's put out, and he's a nuclear physicist, if you look up John Brandenburg, you'll see that he talks about nuclear explosions on Mars and how they were wiped out by some sort of nuclear disaster. But this dirt that's dug up is a lot more recent. So now what I want to do is go ahead and go into the model live. And let's go ahead and do that. Now we're looking at the scene live. And what I'm going to do is kind of move around the model. The first things of interest are this car. And I'm telling you from the image, it looks like a car. I mean, if you look at this right here and you look at that blue circled area, you can see that dirt pile and you can see the car. It definitely has the shape of a car. Ooh, excuse my yawning, I'm so tired. There's also a heavy gate right here. This seems to follow a pathway that leads up the mountain. And there, even in the image, you can see this heavy door right here that seems to go on the top of the mountain. I believe that this is probably some sort of base based on the gate here and the gate here. I'm guessing that if this object right here is not some sort of shuttle or something, that it is probably a guard shack of some sort. And by the way, this sign that's right here, we can zoom into that so you can see it a little better. This was that electronic sign, and it's posted right at the corner in the image. And I believe that this is probably some sort of traffic signal or warning sign to let you know that you're about to enter a restricted area. Let's see, what else can we look at? Let's take a look at these tent structures. These canopies were there in the image, if you remember. And you can always go back, but this is kind of what they look like. And there's one here, and then if you look right in front of where the shuttle or whatever it is, there's another one. It's very faint, but it's there. All right. What I saw on this bridge, now Debbie said it looked like some sort of shuttle or something like
Not
that.
a shuttle, more of a ship.
A ship. Well, I believe it to be a trimaran. Okay, if you know what a catamaran is, it's got two different pontoons, and basically the deck of the boat floats on top of the two outer pontoons. You'd have one pontoon here and one pontoon here, and then you have a deck across. Well, a trimaran actually has a hull in the middle. And if you go back to that image, which I can do real quick here, it was, yeah, this one here. You look in that pink circled area, you can actually see that thing laying across the bridge. All right, and that's what I believe that thing is. A couple of other things that I wanted to point out in here is this roadway. I mean, there's definitely, if you look in that image, you'll see the roadway going through there. And once again, this is that trimaran and the bridge, the concrete bridge that it's sitting on.
What's this tower thing right here?
Okay, now this is very, very faint in the photo and it was hard to make out. I'm glad you mentioned that. If you look just where the blue circle is, just off to the right on the opposite side of the road, very, very faintly, you can see this thing pop out. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Let me go back to the model. And this is what it looks like. All right. Oops, sorry, I zoomed in too far. But there you go. That's kind of what it looks like. And I believe it to be some sort of microwave tower. Now, once again, you have to remember where this thing is pointing. And if we go back to let's go back to this one right here. And you look at where I circled, this thing would actually be aiming across Gale Crater to that outer edge that's on the left of the image. So I believe this is some sort of microwave tower for communication back to the other shoreline, the outer shoreline. It would be angled around, past this mountain out towards that that other side of the outer edge of Gale Crater. So I believe this would be some sort of communications. Now, a couple of things I didn't get to from last week, and I'm trying to keep this as short as possible, is over here, I talked about this boat right here. And I told you I believed it to be some sort of power boat, and that behind it was this boat prop. And I went ahead and modeled that boat prop, and it's got that bent blade, if I can speak, on the back. And actually, if you looked in the image last week, you'll see that it actually had a geared portion out front. But that's kind of what it looks like right there. But that is definitely a boat prop in the image. Let me go back to the image so you can see I'm not just making this up. Which image was in it? It was in this one, wasn't it? Yeah, if you look just to the bottom right corner, you'll see that power boat, and you'll see the boat prop in there. And let me just zoom this out enough where you can see. And there you go. That's what that looked like. And there was one other thing I wanted to point out was these objects right here. Now remember when I showed you the first image, you could see these. Let's see, which one is it? It's this one?
Yeah, because there's one right over there. You see one right there off in the distance.
Yep. These things. I believe these are some sort of maybe automatic fishing things. And I went ahead and put in, these are those same, what I believe, fishing nets from the previous video. And there you go. But that's kind of what they look like here. And they have these spools on the outer portion that go to these spindles. There's a motor or something right here, and they're on both sides and maybe even on the back, but it looks like some sort of automatic fishing thing. I don't know, but like I say, these are the same fishing net looking things that were on the ships from the last video. But that's about what I got for this one. This one went long, and I knew it would because there's just so much in this model. And I haven't even, I mean, I still haven't modeled everything in it, but I think we're pretty well good with this. Now, I do want to show you one more thing that Debbie actually found. Is it this one? Well, let's go to this one. And can you talk about what you saw in this image? And it's going to be hard, I know. Well, let me full screen it. And you saw something in front of this bridge. If you remember the bridge, um, that's circled in pink right here. Okay, Debbie actually found something that she's pretty sure of what she saw. Why don't you describe what you see right there?
Right below the area that you had circled in pink, it looks like there is a plane laying right there on the ground. You can see the wings right here, the body, and the back tail.
So take a look at that, guys. I didn't even notice that until she pointed it out. And when she did, I was like, holy cow, I think you're right. Take a look at that. It's very, very fascinating. And next week, we're going to look at another video, and I didn't get the video put up, the picture put up. But we're going to look at an image from Psalm 28:13. And I'm hoping to get that done. I've been working on it, and I'll give you an idea of what it is. I believe that we're seeing trains, uh, passenger train, and the passenger cars of a passenger train is what we're seeing buried in the mountain. And I've been working on that one, and I thought I had uploaded the image, but it's not coming up. So I don't want to sit there and waste your time trying to look it up. But next week is going to be very cool. Check out Chris's video on that. I believe he posted it just a few days ago here in July. Uh, I think it was on the 8th, no, the 20th or 21st, somewhere he posted that. But check out that video. Check out Mars Anomalies and Beyond, and I'll try to leave a link to both of those on there. But listen, guys, y'all have a good evening. Debbie, thank you so much for your help, and she's really got a good eye for this stuff too. And check out Mars Anomalies and Beyond. Check out Chris's channel, and we will have some pretty interesting stuff in that one. So hopefully uh, you've enjoyed what you see here. If you do, please give it a like, a thumbs up, and share it with people. And of course, if you really like what I'm doing here, please subscribe. And y'all have a good evening and be safe out there. And we'll see you on the next video.